The value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Hey, it's your boy Miguel G with the Value of Wrestling New Japan Rebound Podcast. I have a guest for you, folks.
Yeah, that boy. Hey, man, shout out to Value of Wrestling. I'm right here with the Big Oos, San Jose. We gonna shut this shit down. Love and respect, though, man. Value of Wrestling. Hello.
Man, thank you, brother. Thank you.
Oh, you didn't know? You better pick up the internet keys and type out to somebody and let them know that we are live right here on YouTube with the Value Wrestling with your Monday night post-show review for February 19th, 2024. We are back together to do it again, to break down everything that went down on Monday Night Raw tonight. We're going to get into it. We're going to dive into it. But first, let me introduce my co-host, the one, the only.
What's Clarke?
Oh, you know, the mastermind behind it all. The brain to Miguel's pinky or something like that. I don't know, but you know me, I'm the one. I'm the a bit less so self-egotistical, boosting, big time. You know. That didn't go the way I wanted it, but hey, not everything's picture perfect. Welcome to your post-Monday Night Raw's review show. Again, it's February 19th. It is Monday night. We know Raw hit the air live from the Honda Center in Anaheim, California, formerly the Pod, home to WrestleMania 12, one of the best WrestleManias to take place. Speaking of WrestleManias, yeah, we are on the road to WrestleMania. We had Michael Cole and, of course, Pat McAfee doing his best mid-90s impression of Shawn Michaels with the green polo and the big belt buckle that he was trying to show off. Welcome to the Party Dave Meltzer video. Get off my screen. We don't like Uncle Dave here. We are not a supporter of the Wrestling Observer or Dave Meltzer and his one-sided views. And, well, we will stop right there for right now. Anyways, coming off of SmackDown where we found out The Rock is officially part of the bloodline, and now the whole world's in an uproar because The Rock's going to turn on Roman because of all the secret, subliminal, hidden messages. I don't know. I guess I might have started that because if I go back and look, I think I was the first one who talked about the L making The Rock. I didn't think it was going to be that big of a deal, but everybody in the world's flipping mud pies and doo-doo pies, whatever you want to call them, over, oh, The Rock's going to turn on him. It's all right there. And I go, okay, well, let's chill out and wait. Let's see what happens. Anyways, we get a recap of SmackDown. We get a recap of last week's Raw. And here we are. It's Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre to open the show. What a pretty dang good, solid match this turned out to be. Some people might have been a little disappointed in the ending, but at least they made it make sense. So I don't think you can really be that mad. It wouldn't have been completely the direction I go, but it makes sense. We will get into that. Anyways, we get a hype video for this, which is a nice touch. Yes, we got a lot of hype videos. We got a lot of build. We got a lot of storytelling to make everything feel just a little more important. Something that definitely AEW seems to be missing. Cody headlock doesn't work, so McIntyre knocks him down, setting up an exchange for chops. McIntyre gets the better of things, only to get pulled into a figure four. That's turned over in a hurry, so Cody makes the ropes to make a break. We go... he gets the ropes, and we take a break. Back with McIntyre crushing Cody's head against the post and chopping away until Cody grabs a bulldog power slam into a disaster kick, slows McIntyre down, and then Cody Cutter gets two. Rhodes hits a cactus clothesline, leaving both men on the floor as we go back to another break. After that break, McIntyre grabbing a spinebuster, a sit-out powerbomb for two. Cody hits a quick pedigree, but doesn't quite get the pin, slows McIntyre down as he's right back with the future shock for another near fall. For some reason, McIntyre goes up, allowing Cody to hit a superplex, the top rope. Cody Cutter gets two more, and as Cody's setting up to hit for the crossroads, we get a Jimmy Uso coming down to the ringside, and then eventually we get a hooded Solo Sikoa from behind, hitting a Samoa spike, helping Drew McIntyre nail a Claymore, and getting the 1, 2, 3. This match went 19 minutes, 42 seconds. I don't think you could necessarily be mad about it. At least it made sense. I know I've been a big supporter of Cody not getting pinned until WrestleMania, but in this instance, they kind of did book themselves into a corner. You really didn't want to see Cody lose. You really didn't want to see Drew McIntyre lose. This is one of those shifting of powers due to CM Punk getting injured. They've really got to make Drew McIntyre look like a solid threat going into the Elimination Chamber. So at least they brought the bloodline. They're going to continue that story. Hopefully this leads into what's going into WrestleMania. Maybe somebody's listening. Maybe this will bring in that stipulation for a Hell in a Cell or some way where the bloodline is not going to be able to stop Cody. This is that first step of saying, okay, this is done. How do we protect this? What role is Seth going to be able to play in all this? Is Seth going to be in Cody's corner while The Rock's in Roman's corner? I feel that's a little cheap for me. Like, that just doesn't feel like big WrestleMania. You're going to have Cody and The Rock in opposite corners. It doesn't, if they go that direction, it just doesn't feel like what that match needs. But we'll see what they bring. But overall, a good solid match. They made sense. You don't really want to see Cody lose. But in the end, McIntyre coming out with a win, which you really didn't need in this moment. The bloodline interfering. I think it brought it all together, so you really can't be mad. There's nothing to really get upset in the sense. Cody taking this loss, it's fine. It didn't really hurt Cody. It just helps build the storyline, and we have to see what Cody's going to do from here. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts?
In addition to everything you just said, there's also a nice callback to last year's WrestleMania on how Cody lost to begin with.
Yes.
Having Sikoa come up and spike him in the throat. So it's like that just gives his character that much more motivation. Like as if he needed any more adversity, as if he needed any more motivation to want that title. He's got even more. There's your adversity.
Well, it's adversity, but I also think it brings into that picture of what are we going to do to protect Cody? How do we, what's the next step in this storyline? What's Cody going to pull out? How does Cody get his fair shot at Roman now? Because now we know the bloodline is showing their way. So we know what the next few weeks are going to be building into all this. We're going to see the bloodlines showing up, probably interfering and stuff. So we'll have to see what the stipulation, what match are they building to? Yes, we know it's Roman versus Cody. Granted, we know that much, but what type of match are we going to get? Because I just don't see another one-on-one title match, and they could. I mean, they're very good, but I feel like there's going to be a little more into that. We know Seth is going to play the Shield. The Rock's in the bloodline. He's going to do everything in his power. Triple H is trying to show The Rock that he's the man. Everybody answers to him. So a lot of pieces in this that are going to have to come out to see how they're going to fit in to make this match happen. And I think the key aspect for this match is how do they make this match a level playing field for Cody this year?
Fantastic question.
So, anyways, we got a video package of Gunther and Jey Uso before their Intercontinental title match tonight. And then WWE shocked me in this one, but we had a great promo package for Andrade El Idolo, as they labeled him on the video package. Andrade getting a chance to talk, showing that he can speak some English and get his message across. Brought us a little bit of Spanish, but said, "I'm Andrade El Idolo," and he even wrote it in the thing across the screen. So I'm shocked here they're going to make him Andrade El Idolo. I don't know if that's just been Andrade's name other places, so that he's free to use that since they use it in AEW. Of course, Tony Khan doesn't seem to be trademarking too many names, so it may be fair game in this sense. But it's interesting to see that Andrade is going to be Andrade El Idolo, or at least use that moniker, the idol in WWE.
Well, they had it in his song when he re-debuted with WWE. He says it, but last week in his video package, it was just Andrade. So yes. I felt like you too, like you, I was interested in the fact that they added written in El Idolo in the video package this time.
No, when he came out for the Royal Rumble, they did say Andrade, and then in the song it said El Idolo, but I never really put much stock in that. I'm just like, okay, they can put that in a song, but they didn't really call him Andrade El Idolo. They've slightly started mentioning it here, but tonight really solidified that it looks like he said it, I'm Andrade El Idolo, and then they wrote Andrade El Idolo on the screen. Like they wrote Andrade, pause for a second, because you're like, oh, okay, maybe he's just saying it, but they're not going to. And then they wrote El Idolo, so you're like, ooh, okay. And definitely, Miguel, you're exactly right. Andrade looks like $1 million. So much more important, so much more like $1 million. And he spoke about all the people he's worked with, the Lucha Rewaves, his family, his uncles, and his wife. And he looks happy. I don't know what it is about a Punk coming back to WWE and Andrade in his facial expressions in that promo. You just feel like he feels comfortable, happy to be here. Where you go back and look at him in AEW, you just kind of you didn't look happy. You didn't look, you just kind of looked like he was going through the motions. But now you see him and you're like, ooh, he feels like $1 million. He looks like $1 million. He seems to want to be here and he's excited. So not a good sign for Tony Khan in that sense, because everybody that wants to come back over here may be looking at that going, look what they're doing for him. It's time to go back. I mean,
Suddenly, can we just get a Rusev chant?
Rusev Day, Rusev Day, Rusev Day, Rusev Day.
Anywho.
AEW ages you 10 years? I feel like it does sometimes. It just... Sometimes it does. Anyways, then we get a Pat McAfee. They brought back the Telestrator graphics where they used the pin in slow mo, the ending to the Drew and Cody match. We haven't seen this in a long time. I forgot who the last person who really did the Telestrator. I forgot who that used to be like a thing with.
Jerry Lawler?
Was it Jerry Lawler? I forget who really used it and highlighted it. So yeah. Threw it back way in the back. Yeah, it definitely felt like a retro 90s era for whatever reason. Tonight felt like The Rock came out in his his extra large Ricky Stark vest, trying to show the Ricky Stark wannabe how to wear it, and acted like he was a nation of domination. So The Rock threw it back to 96, but tonight really felt like WWE and a couple other people said, hold my beer, and threw this all over the 90s. It felt like there was little 90s throw-ins here, and we'll get to each of those as we move along. Adam Pearce is back in the infirmary area, back in with the doctors, and he's talking to Cody. Cody tells him he's fine. Seth comes in, shockingly dressed in a black shirt with white polka dots. I don't know if that was an intentional reference. It wasn't yellow polka dots, but it was a white polka dotted dress, or a dress skirt. I don't know, We know Seth shops out of his wife's closet, and that's fine, But yeah, it was white polka dot tonight. So I don't know if there was a small reference in there throwback. Seth didn't say anything. He just kind of patted Cody and everything was fine. And we got a video package for the Women's Elimination Chamber and the 5 qualifiers. And tonight's the Elimination Chamber qualifying last chance battle royal. We had Xia Li, Valhalla, Tegan Knox, Natalia, Indy Hartwell, Candice LeRae, Maxine Dupree, Ivy Nile, Electra Lopez, Kaden Carter, Katana Chance, Mishin, Zelina Vega, which was looking absolutely good. And please, Tommy N, don't be mad. Don't kick my head off. I can't help it that your wife looks really good in the ring. I mean, no disrespect. Chelsea Green was there. Of course, Alpha Fire, Isle Dawn, and VOW were all out there. Initially started off with Shayna Baszler, followed by Zoe Starks. And ladies and gentlemen, the big surprise of the night, Dora the Explorer has returned to WWE. One Raquel Rodriguez is back in action and making her return to the ring. It's a brawl, and basically, let's see, I guess I can try and see if we can read it. It's a brawl to start with Valhalla knocking out Maxine, but getting eliminated as well. Dora the Explorer knocks out Xia Li and does the same thing with Dawn as we take a break. Back with Natalia turning on Nox and tossing her out. So Natalia dumps out Nox. The opposite happened from the Royal Rumble, so there was the payback between friends. BFAB gets eliminated as well. Lopez kicks Vega out, sad day, but then gets tossed by Mishin. Lopez and Mishin brawl on the floor until Green gets rid of Candice and Baszler. Does the same to Indy Hartwell. Indy Hartwell, another local Australian, not making the big show at this point. Baszler needs Chance out, and Rodriguez eliminates Fire. Followed by Ivy Nile knocking Natalia out. Baszler and Starks get rid of Nile, leaving us with the two of them, Mishin and Rodriguez. The villains toss Mishin, but Rodriguez gets rid of Baszler. Starks is kicked out, and the winner looks like to be Rodriguez, except Chelsea Green had never been eliminated, and she tries to go eliminate Rodriguez, but Rodriguez quickly dumps her out. This match went 12 minutes, 1 second. And the final participant was Shy, I'm like, whatever, Dora the Explorer, or for you people who want to call her Raquel Rodriguez, gets the final spot in the Elimination Chamber for the women. I guess it's what it is. I mean, you had a lot of opportunity, but I mean, if she's back, I guess that's the biggest name that feels like maybe a big threat. Not really in my eyes. She was kind of getting booed, even though she's still coming out with the babyface, doing her stupid, I don't even know what she's doing, her muscle back thing, when she's got a bustier on that covers up where her back, when she doesn't, I don't know, her whole little pose is stupid to me. You could tell the crowd really wasn't interested in her. She got some boos. She got a little bit of cheers after she won, but it just wasn't the impactful. Again, to me, she feels like Dora the Explorer, and she should be going around finding her backpack and her mappy friends so she can figure her way to being something other than Raquel Rodriguez. But, you know, gotta love the Battle Royal. It did what it did. Served a purpose. Another piece to put in there. She's not winning the Elimination Chamber by a long shot. But it is what it is. Mr. Clarke,
well,
your thoughts?
Anyone they put in that spot wasn't going to win anyways. So, I mean, it's really didn't matter.
No.
Although I've never seen Dora into as much strength training as Raquel is.
Well, it is what it is. Not excited. I mean, Raquel Rodriguez doesn't do anything, and I don't know if she can go heel. I guess she needs to. I need to see if she can be a heel, but I don't know if she can be
heel in NXT.
I just don't know if she can be a viable heel. I just don't know if she has the charisma to heel.
It's called Peacock. It's called NXT.
She may have been NXT and went heel. I just don't know if I can see it in her on the main roster being heel. She's not over as a babyface. She's not really. She's big, yes, in the side. You know, she's a tall specimen out of the females. I mean, and it's not like she's big in weight. I mean, she's just her stature. She's one of the bigger females on the roster, so I know she feels like a viable threat by just image, but I mean, she doesn't present a threat. Mm-hmm. I'd like to see her go heel, to see if she has it in her. I don't know. I don't know if she can. I don't know if she'll ever advance out of that women's mid-card section. I mean, she might be a great women's tag team partner for a tag team combination, but I don't know if I can ever see her as a women's champion. She's just not presented in that light to be viable.
The sad part is she was best presented in NXT. She's had tag titles. She's had the NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah.
But then again, she was also presented differently than the way she's been presented here on the main roster.
Yeah. And that's the thing. I can go watch NXT and she can be presented differently, so she might have the skills. But the way she's been set up on the main roster, where I just feel like she's just kind of the door explorer. She's just somebody there. It's just like, I don't feel she's viable. Like, maybe she'll change that. Maybe they can give her a villainous character. She can prove that she's viable, do something with it, change up her character. But until I see that, I'm just kind of blah. Like, she's just, mediocre, mid-card. So. Jey Uso's ready to win the Intercontinental Championship, and we get a split screen interview between Nia Jax and Rhea Ripley. Rhea talks about wanting to go back home and to prove herself that she is different, but Nia doesn't care and promises pain. Ripley promises to show Jax that isn't good enough and walks off. As usual, Jax promo involves her saying, "I'm big and I'll beat you. I'm big and I'll beat you. I'll squash you. Yay." Promo was okay. I'm just ready for the match so we can get over and get past this and move forward. Rhea Ripley's walking out Elimination Chamber champion. Nia Jax has at least been presented better than she has been in the past, so it feels like a threat, but Rhea's winning. I mean, we're getting mommy and the man. I mean, if you don't see that written in the card, and I know sometimes we hate, we like to have some feel like maybe it's going to be this, maybe it's going to be that, but I mean, the biggest story WWE selling, the man versus mommy. I mean, that is what they've been selling hardcore. Yes, later on in the show, they gave a little bit of to Liv Morgan feeling like a viable threat, but you just know it's going to be mommy versus the man. That's the, WrestleMania match to have.
Well, the underlining score for that, or the silver lining score, is that Nia Jax is doing the best work of her damn life.
Yes.
But she's serving the bigger purpose.
Yes.
And that's what we're also happy about.
Nia Jax, again, will help to get the man over. It's a major reset. Triple H needs to do some. I think Triple H is going to have a major reset after WrestleMania. I think we're going to get to WrestleMania. Then we're going to have a major reset. I think we're going to see a lot of things change after WrestleMania. I think this new era, it's getting there, but I don't think we're going to see the hardcore new era transfer until we get to WrestleMania. And then WrestleMania, that Raw after WrestleMania, I think we'll start seeing a hard reset, whether we have a draft or whatever's next. But I think right after WrestleMania, we will be heading into what will really be classified as the beginning of the new era for WWE. Yes, it's been mentioned. We're seeing some things, but I think the hard reset for Triple H will be WrestleMania. We get a special look at R-Truth's history with Judgment Day. We get a video package where he's being outside the arena in a poncho being interviewed. He assisted with special moments when they first met, like the first time John Cena tried on a pair of jeans shorts, but then it went bad with Damien attacking him, making R-Truth feel as sad as the final of This Is Us. Now he has DX in his corner though, and he just wants walk off, and then he just walks off. This is usual wacky truth. Again, as usual, it worked. It was great. It was a good comedy. Ha. It's going to get interesting. We talk about the UFC WWE partnership. We got to be introduced to Michael Chandler, who calls out Conor McGregor. And then we had Chad Gable telling us he's ready for Ivar, and Ivar telling us Chad Gable's not ready for him. And then we led into an 8-man tag match. R-Truth and Miz, Awesome Truth against with tagging up with DIY against Judgment Day. And I read on the interwebs, and people make my head hurt, and I don't know why sometimes I get on the Facebook and people make the weirdest statements, because somebody complained that this match was a ripoff of AEW because DIY was nothing more than a cheap knockoff of FTR. And I'm like, what? I don't know. I read these things. They said this match was a cheap ripoff that WWE just copied AEW, and I'm like, where? And then called DIY a cheap and FTR knockoff, and I'm just like going.
If anything, I don't like the comic use, or well, not. I mean, the first time was one thing, but the comic use of calling DIY DX is like, okay, come on now.
Well, that's an R-Truth. Yes, no, that's an R-Truth thing. It's just part of the joke. Yes, they made the shirts because it's going to make them some money because people are going to get a kick out of it for a little bit. But yeah, I this was just a comment that hurt my head because I'm like, I don't know where you get any of that. But it starts out in a huge brawl. Judgment Day is sent outside, leaving the other four to do the DX chop. So we take a break. Back with Gargano caught in the wrong corner with a slingshot stop to the chest, getting 2. Gargano suplexes away to freedom, though, and it's off to R-Truth, who initiates the John Cena finishing sequence. It's broken up by Priest, who sends R-Truth into the post as we take another break. We come back from break, and Ciampa is coming back to pick up the pace with running quarter clothesline. Will's Bell plants McDonough, and Ciampa falls with the dive to the floor, back in, and a reverse DDT gets 2 on Dominic, with McDonough making the save. Balor and Ciampa collide, though, and they're both down for a breather. R-Truth hits the axe kick on Priest. The lie detector gets 2. Everything breaks down. Priest escapes an AA, setting up South for Heaven to get the pin on R-Truth at 15 minutes, 40 seconds. And you got a good solid match. Judgment Day looking good here. Damian Priest getting a pin, a much-needed pin. R-Truth taking the loss doesn't hurt Miz or DIY. It's going to be interesting what they're going to set up here. I really think we're going to see DIY at least against Priest and Balor at WrestleMania for those world titles. I think that's when you're going to finally see DIY take that title run over the next year. Miz is just kind of here to balance out things, and R-Truth, of course, is the bigger... You have R-Truth feuding with Judgment Day. R-Truth may be the reason Judgment Day loses those titles to DIY at WrestleMania. It could be very interesting. But I think that's what we're going for. Where Judgment Day is going, I don't know. It's kind of confusing. We're just going to have to wait and see. Your thoughts on this match?
I thought it was a cool little match. One of those, it was what it was.
Mm-hmm.
I think the right team won actually, because I think Judgment Day needs to kind of keep some kind of momentum going,
yes.
At least till WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. From there, we got to look back of the crap that happened on SmackDown. We got The Rock's video package. They tried to hit the good highlight points of it. You're just kind of like, whoopee, don't give a dang diddle doodle. And then we go to Sami Zayn saying he's hitting the pause button on McIntyre because there's a path for him to WrestleMania and he will be champion. He talks about Nakamura briefly, but he's figuring his way to WrestleMania. Maybe it'll be an Intercontinental title shot against Gunther. Maybe that's the best route for Sami Zayn. Yes, I know you said you don't want to see Sami with the Intercontinental title again, but we did see him with the heel run. Maybe it's time for a babyface run with the Intercontinental title to keep him relative, because I don't think he's going to be... Well, he might get into the world title picture, but he needs wins. He needs a big win at WrestleMania to really put him in the main event picture. If Drew McIntyre wins the Elimination Chamber and then beats Seth Rollins, as I would assume, then we have to look at everything going on here. You have something to say?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So my question is, do you feel with the way with Sami Zayn's current promo work is going, do you think it's still helping him stay relevant and possibly get a push when it is time to pull that trigger?
I think his promo work's definitely keeping him relevant. I think they're giving him a storyline. He's playing, I'm losing a lot, I need to do something to change. I think there's a good storyline there, but he does need a big win. He really does need a big win. I don't know if that's over Nakamura, the rebound match next week, but I think he needs a big win. A Gunther making him Intercontinental Champion, I think would hold him in the mid-card spot. But again, if Drew McIntyre should beat Seth Rollins, and Sami and Drew McIntyre can restart that feud. But then again, I don't know if Sami Zayn, how long Sami Zayn could go on a losing streak. So I don't know if you really want to put him against Drew McIntyre run away after Drew wins the title, unless you're going to pull the trigger and have Sami win the title from Drew at SummerSlam. But in the meantime, Sami's going to need a big win. Sami needs a big match at WrestleMania. Sami needs to he needs to win. He really doesn't need a big win to keep him where he wants to be. Anyways, here is the man, Becky Lynch. She's out for a chant. She asks if the fans like her hat. And, of course, she comes out here looking like she saw what The Rock wore on Sunday and said, oh, we're going back to the 90s. Let me show you how to do it. Came out looking like it was 1990, and she came fresh out of a You Can't Touch This MC Hammer music video. Tell me when I'm telling lies. She talks about how she's going to win the Elimination Chamber and earn the right to face Rhea Ripley. Mommy McAfee, of course, goes, or Nia Jax. at WrestleMania. Ripley has been on a roll of a lifetime, but now here is Lynch, who is the biggest threat of her life. Lynch says she is the best she's ever been, but first there's Elimination Chambers, and she talks about beating almost everyone in the chamber. But here is Liv Morgan, who's telling the world to watch me, saying she doesn't like Lynch acting like no one is a threat to her in the chamber. Morgan talks about her history with Rhea Ripley, who put her on the shelf a few months ago with a bad shoulder. Morgan announcing that she was the last one to pin Rhea Ripley. So Morgan making her care. And, of course, this cued in fashion tips from her husband. I don't know. They seem to raid each other's closets. But, hey, whatever works. But you can't tell me she didn't look like she came out of like an old MC Hammer or Vanilla Ice music video from 1990. Or, you know, maybe she was over there doing the right stuff as the New Kids on the Block. I don't know. But
Oh, golly.
She definitely felt
Deep
retro
cut there.
tonight. No, the first cut's the deepest, and that was she was just on One Tree Hill. Sheryl Crow, there we go.
Jeez.
Anyways, this
Who also
cued in.
debuted in the 90s.
Yes. This cued, of course, the return of one Dora the Explorer, Raquel Rodriguez, out here to talk her snot and bit and talk about how important she is, and then Naomi's out here. And, of course, Lynch welcomes her back. Naomi made a great promo, felt important here. Probably one of the better ones. Tiffany Stratton then came out, said it's Tiffy time. Tiffany gave a great promo here. I respect Tiffany a whole lot more, or Tiffany, after this, because then Bianca Belair came in, and Bianca Belair felt so flat. The audience didn't really respond for her. Bianca Belair looked like she got rushed out there at the last second. And I forget what Tiffy said to Belair that was just perfect. Like, oh yeah, your moment's already passed. You were so last year. I'm like, it is true. She is so last year. Bianca Belair trying to sell that she's the only one to ever win Elimination Chamber. And, anyways. But Tiffany doesn't want to hear that. And we have a breakdown. Eventually just cues Nia Jax, who wrecks everyone. Still good, solid promos from here. Becky sounded good. Liv gave a good chance here. Raquel Rodriguez was just not. Her promo was like, yeah, I'm here. And you're just like, cool. Naomi came out and made it feel hot. Tiffany was really good. And then Bianca was just flat. You could feel she was flat. Same old shtick. Felt like she was trying to be the newer version of The Rock. I'm the bestest, the greatest, the S's, and you can't spell WrestleMania without EST. Look at me. My catchphrase don't get any better. And you're just like, oh, I want to boo this poor female so bad because her promo work sucks. Of course, she's got to be a babyface because she's got a TV show that I don't know if anybody's watching.
I'm not worried about the TV show. I still want to boo her.
Question is, have you watched her TV show on Hulu?
Haven't had an opportunity.
Okay. Mr. Z,
I
have you had
would
it?
just because.
Mr. Z, have you watched the TV show? And while you're answering that. But anyways, yeah, this was, it started off good with Becky and Liv. Raquel, you're like, okay. Naomi kind of picked up the energy, and Tiffany really hit some good points. But then Bianca came out, and you're just like, And then Tiffany and her had some singers. So maybe we'll see Tiffany versus Bianca at WrestleMania. Maybe we'll start leading that feud for them too. So
Let's go, Tiffany. Clap, 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 clap.
I've got to root for a blonde Tiffany. Why do I feel like that? Yes.
Jeez.
Inside jokes should be funny for inside people. Nope, I have no interest in it. No, that's what I figured. Anyways, Nakamura's ready to face Sami Zayn again, and we know Nakamura and Sami Zayn are going to run it back next week on Monday Night Raw. Chad Gable and Ivar, and they made an agreement to leave their cohorts, their partners, their people in the back. They start fast with Gable kicking him to the floor, only to get dropped onto the barricade as we take an early break. Back with Gable reversing a Super World Strongest Slam into a middle rope small package for two. Gable goes after the leg, but the ankle lock is broken up with a whip to the floor. Ivar sends him into the apron and takes it back inside for a top rope seated senton and a near fall. Gable gets a suplex into the moonsault for two, followed by the ankle lock, and Ivar taps out to an ankle lock. I guess the big man has tiny ankles that can't take that pain. The match is over at 8:25. Decent match for these two. I think Chad Gable is being built for the guy to take the title off of Gunther. I think it's going to be Chad Gable. I could see it Sami Zayn, but I'm assuming it's going to be Chad Gable. I think we're going to see more of Chad Gable looking really strong and making this run for his right to be Intercontinental Champion. Ivar's a big win for Chad Gable. Hopefully this ends this feud between these groups and Ivar can go find another place to go do something else. Hopefully Eric comes back soon so we can get the Viking Raiders back in the tag team ranks. Ivar just doesn't do a whole lot for me. And it also is the fact they're not really building him to feel any important. He's been fighting with Alpha Academy pretty much since like the latter part of last year. So, I mean, it's kind of gotten to a point where we're kind of done. And so it's hard to get behind Ivar when he's been doing the same thing over and over again. Your thoughts?
That's fair. It was a good little match. I mean, it's Chad Gable, so there's usually going to be a pretty good chance that it's going to be a decent match. He's great at what he does. Ivar played his part.
Yep.
But the right man won.
Yeah, no. Chad Gable needed this win. Hopefully they're going to continue to build Chad Gable going forward. I think that's what we're going to do. I think he's going to be the guy that's going to be Gunther. I think that's why they kind of stepped away from Gunther, Chad Gable for a little bit to be able to stretch that out. So now I think they're going to come back and get it at WrestleMania. Then we get an Elimination Chamber rundown. Drew McIntyre is ready to win the Elimination Chamber because he can beat everyone in it. And Drew McIntyre looking like the man that's probably going to do it. I know there's a Randy Orton in there. I know there's Kevin Owens in there. I've seen a lot of people thinking Logan Paul is going to get the win and go on. Everybody thinks Logan Paul, he's called in his favor to win the Elimination Chamber. I don't know why people even have any hopes in that, but okay.
Special crack that they're taking?
I guess Tony Khan and his buddies know a lot of people, and they're sharing that magic powdery puff the magic dragon dust. I don't know. A lot of people are out here talking about, Logan Paul's going to win the Elimination Chamber. He's calling in favors. It's I'm like, no. I go there presenting. Logan Paul's going to be in there for a spot monkey fest. He's going to do some big spot, and that's what he's going to do. Kevin Owens is there just to give some rank. Bobby Lashley, I don't really know why he's there. He's just a big guy to look like a threat. But at the end of the day, it looks like I would probably favor heavily Drew McIntyre is the one they're really presenting to be the most important out of everybody in there.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
So. Anyways, it's time in this new WWE setup. We have one match left, which is an interesting thing. I don't know why. I kind of like it that they announced we have one match left, but it just makes it feel like, okay, this is important. They draw your attention in. I think it's a good step for the new direction they're going when they do this. We have one match left. So they're trying to highlight it's the main event. We have one match left. So they're trying to get that hype there. So I think it's definitely a good direction because you hear that and you're like, okay, we got one match left. It's almost over. For better or worse, but it does get you hyped up because you know it's the main event. And it's going to be for the Intercontinental title. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Gunther versus Jey Uso. Anyways, Gunther is defeating, and we get the big match intros, and we did. They start fast. We got a break between Gunther's entrance where we got a huge video package for Gunther and Jey Uso building them up for this match, too. And then we came back. And they start fast with Gunther chopping away. And Miguel, let's say that they came out and said, we'll pay you $1 million for every chop you take from Gunther. How many chops are you going to go take, Mr. Z, since you're the one that's so afraid to take chops? Are you going to take that one, or how many chops do you think you can take? But anyways, he gets chopped, chopping away. We take it to the floor as we take a early break. And we get back with Gunther twisting Jay's neck, hitting a backbreaker before taking it outside. Jay ducks a clothesline and a Samoan drop him on the announce table for a breather. Back in, and Gunther drops him again, but the powerbomb attempt is countered into a backdrop to the floor. The dive drops Gunther again, and we take another commercial break. As we come back from commercial break, they are exchanging chops until Jay has to escape. Another powerbomb attempt. The spear gives Jay 2, but Gunther knocks him down again, setting up the top rope splash. For 2, Jay hits another spear, and Gunther is knocked outside, setting up for another spear, and then Superfly Splash connects. But Jay, okay, so we get the spears. We get about 5 spears on the outside before he throws Gunther in, hits one more spear, goes up for the Superfly Splash. Jay flies off, hits Gunther, has him down for the 1. The ref hits that 2, and the bell starts ringing just randomly. And we show over where the ring announcers even confused what's going on as we see somebody in a black hoodie just ringing the snot of the bell. He pulls back the top of his hoodie, revealing it is Jimmy, who's laughing. And so Jay is upset by this. Jimmy is getting escorted out by security. Jay kind of jumps Gunther Ripley and then jumps or dives through and takes out Jimmy and the security guard. He drops back in, hits a super kick on Gunther, goes up for the superfly splash one more time, but Gunther raises his knees, allowing Gunther to. Gunther then tries to go into a sleeper hold, a leg vine, coquina clutch, whatever you want. But then Jay reversed that into a pin, but then gets back up. He goes for another super kick. Gunther's able to block it and roll him up into a small package for a 1, 2, 3. This match went 16 minutes, 52 seconds. This is a good, solid match. Both men looked really good here. We did definitely get a moment here with Jay and Jimmy. It looks like we're going to get the Jay-Jimmy match we've been waiting for WrestleMania. I didn't know if they were going to do it because they were really building Jay in one direction. They hadn't built to this path yet. But Jimmy's screwing Jay out of this world title, or out of this Intercontinental title, where Jay was set to look like he was going to win it. Very viable. It looked like we weren't going to get a title change here, even though, like I said earlier, I didn't see it happening. It just didn't seem like the night. I didn't believe it, not on a Monday night, not where they don't have Gunther in a main event slot yet. Gunther's not losing this title till Mania. But they really did sell you tonight that maybe Jimmy was going to pull this out, or Jay was going to pull this out, but Jimmy interferes, and I think now we're finally set on that path to see Jimmy and Jay at WrestleMania in this big one-on-one match. But this was a good, solid match. Gunther looked good. Jay looked totally good. It all came down to Jimmy's interference. But after the match, of course, Jimmy attacks Jay, hitting with a couple different superfly splashes, and then we go off the air. Mr. Clarke, your thoughts on this match? And Mr. Z, we're still waiting for your response.
I thought the match was great. They even had me so pulling for Jay, even though I figured that somehow Gunther was going to retain the title by hook or by crook. They really had me pulling for Jay.
Yeah.
Now, concerning Jimmy, we've seen him this whole time, looking like a damn punk in one manner or another. I like the beatdown because he looked good doing it. So when we finally get to this match between Jimmy and Jay, I expect it to be a good match and not just a one-sided affair.
Yes, no, it definitely looks like that way. It looks like they're moving that way, Mr. Z. But my question to you is, if you were getting paid $1 million to take a chop by Gunther, how many chops would you take? $1 million per chop. That's still the answer I'm waiting on. But no, this is a good, solid match. It definitely looks like we're heading in the direction. We're a couple weeks out. We got this Saturday Elimination Chamber, and then it's all everything into WrestleMania. And now we're telling this story. I think we're headed in the right direction with Jimmy and Jay. Can't wait to see what we're going to do with the rest of the Bloodline. Are we going to have new Bloodline members joining WWE before Mania? Are they all showing up at Mania? When is this all going to go down, if they show up at all? It's going to be very interesting. A lot of speculation that Braun Breaker may become a new Paul Heyman guy, that they're setting up Braun Breaker to be aligned with Paul Heyman, that Braun Breaker might be, you're going to take 5? Okay. Maybe one day we can make that happen and see how many chops you can take from the big Gunther. Gunther, Miguel Z says he can take 5 chops from you. Give us a call. Let's make it happen. Maybe not for $1 million a slap, but hey, I just want to see if the man can take 5 chops. Anywho, all kidding aside, I think we're looking in the right direction. I think we got a lot of things brewing. Triple H is cooking way more than another guy on that other show that doesn't know how to cook a damn thing. He just throws shit at the wall and goes, "Watch it stick," and then wonders why his attendance is down to 3,000 people. And why? Here's the big thing: do we know that All In's only set it up for 49,000 people this year? So what is he afraid of? He sold it out last year and made the biggest deal. We sold the most tickets in any wrestling event ever. The attendance gate of people who actually came in was way lower than the number of tickets that sold. But he races around the world proclaiming they sold the most tickets, they had the best wrestling event ever. But next year, they're only doing it's only set up for 49,000 people.
I don't even know what to tell you.
I don't know how. Anyways,
we talk about Booker's cooking. He tends to burn his stuff.
I don't know. This Wednesday is worrying me. I mean, I can't believe we're going to have Samoa Joe, Swerve Strickland, and Brian Cage against Hook, Rod Van Dam, and Hangman Adam Page. And I'm just like going, even on paper. I mean, on paper, you can say this is going to, in ring on paper, you can say these guys are going to give us something good in the ring. But I mean, and here's another good question. I was listening to Cornette, and there's something I haven't accounted for. But if we really sit down, can you tell me who the Young Bucks, the Tampon Bucks, the EVPs, Matthew and Nicholas Jackson, who have they made in AEW? Cornette brings it up. They're out there doing all their flippy flops. They're only worried about themselves because who have they made? Who have they helped make?
Even with no matter what good match they've had, they've all had it with people who are already made in other companies.
Well, yeah, the team's already made, but they haven't done it. I mean, have they helped make Top Flight over? Have they helped make Private Party over? They helped make the House of Black over? And the House of Black, I mean, yes, Malachi Black, Buddy Matthews, and Brody King are over individually, but that House of Black gimmick is not. It got there for a little bit, but it's died. Like they need the help to get over again. They just don't feel.
And again, 2 out of the 3 were already over from another company.
I know, but they don't feel over anymore. Is my thing. It's like you just.
Yeah, I understand.
It's just like Miro. I mean, you look around and go, who has AEW really made? And now you want to point, not just who have the Young Bucks helped make over, but who's Tony Khan helped make over? Now, we can say, yes, MJF is a great market, but I don't know if Tony Khan's really made. I'll give Tony Khan, he's made Orange Cassidy over. But I think MJF made himself over. I don't think Tony Khan had anything to do with that. MJF was just going to be over wherever he was going to go. He was just one of those talents. But I mean, he's really like a modern era in a way of CM Punk. Wherever he was going to go, he was going to get himself over by whatever it took to do it. I don't think Tony Khan really set him up to do anything. But I mean, if you look at let's talk about the 4 pillars that AEW sells us: Darby Allin, Jack Perry, Sammy Guevara, and MJF. How many of those pillars really feel important today? Well, they don't even have pillars to their foundation because Sammy Guevara, you're like, everybody's over Sammy. Sammy's just like ran his course. And Jack Perry is gone, not gone, we don't know. Of course, I hear rumors that he's coming back to align himself with the Bucks, which makes no sense unless they're really trying to pull the storyline. Because a couple other people are trying to point out, doesn't seem like the heel Bucks are now trying to use the storyline that they had going with CM Punk, but that since CM Punk's gone and far away, now they feel safe using that quote-unquote storyline. Oh, Lexus King is great in NXT. I can't wait to really see him break out. Lexus King's $1 million. Jade Cargill's going to feel good.
Someone we haven't seen in a while, but I felt Tony Khan gave her the platform. Not saying that he got her over, but gave her the platform at least, is Britt Baker.
Now, she was the only female star AEW really had at the beginning. That was something. But she's been off of TV so long, injury, sick. We don't even know. She pops up on Twitter.
That wasn't the question. The question wasn't about present. The question was who has AEW built or made.
Well, they briefly made Wardlow, but they killed that. But again, they kind of made Britt Baker over, but she's kind of dead. Like, do we really care enough? Like, we're hoping she comes back and looks good, but you're kind of like, nah.
Until she falls flat the way Thunder Rosa has, as far as her return goes, I'm still rooting for Britt Baker. I'm still rooting for Jamie Hayter.
I want to see Britt Baker do good. I want to see Jamie Hayter come back. But again, look who's going to be there. I think Mercedes Moné is going to be the focus of Tony Khan. I think that's going to be Tony Khan's favorite toy. And I think Britt Baker is going to suffer at the hands of that new favorite toy. Will Britt Baker still look good? I'm sure she will because Britt Baker is really, really talented. But I don't know if she's going to feel important. I can't believe there's still people supporting the whole Undisputed Era story. Like, this is still good, and it's one of the best storylines that AEW is presenting in 2024. And I'm like, it's flat and dead. Wardlow's supposed to be going,
tribalistic, delusional fans that will eat literally anything.
There's somebody from New York that says it's still a good storyline.
Yeah, well, he and I don't agree on a lot of things too. So.
Who says he's not on one side or the other? Anywho, I'm not going to get too deep in that. Anyway, it's just, I mean, the Undisputed Kingdoms crap sucks. Well, I thought Wardlow was supposed to be fighting for the world title, but he's over here fighting jobbers again. The goons, Matt Taven and Mike Bennett still feel like the goofball idiots of the tribe. They're like, ah. And Roderick Strong is trying to go after the international title, which he's probably going to win because it's the only thing that makes sense. And then Adam Cole's injured. I get it. But it's just like, meh. And part of that's because MJF's gone, and you're just kind of like, it doesn't work with anybody else but MJF.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that hurts that whole picture. And I'm sorry, I know we got off on an AEW tangent, but it's just the fact that WWE is so good and doing so many things right. Yes, they dropped the ball on SmackDown, and I think that's mostly on The Rock. It didn't work, but I mean, WWE did some correction courses here, added some stuff, gave us some stuff to look forward to, and still building a great hype. I think everybody's excited for Elimination Chamber. And right after Elimination Chamber, we're going to roll right into the Revolution, and you're just not excited for anything on Revolution. You know, you're just, it's there. It's a show. It's going to happen. We'll be here to talk about it, yes, but it's hard to get excited for it. And it's Sting's last match. Should be the biggest night, one of the biggest nights of professional wrestling, but you're just kind of like, yeah, no. No matter what we say, there are some AEW fans that will play nice to Tony the Snowman. Tony the Snowman.
Jeez.
Tony the Snowman was a joyous, happy boy. He thought he knew how to book a show, so he became his own booker. Tony the Snowman doesn't know how to book wrestling. He fanboys and marks out what he sees Will Ospreay, and that's why he'll always be a terrible booker. I don't know. I've lost the whole thing, but hey, I tried.
Jeez.
Anyways, Tony Khan can be excited on Revolution, and then he can get excited for big business when he has Mercedes Moné, Okada, Will Ospreay, all these big name stars. He can no man his pants as he marks out, and then screw it all up within 2 months, I'm sure. And then you wonder why some of those people. And then he says the morale in AEW is like greatest it's been. The morale is perfect. Everybody's so happy. And then you hear the stories coming from everybody that AEW's morale is not all that great. There's a lot of frustration.
Gee, I wonder why. And this is a bit of a question. Why is shoot, I'm forgetting his name now. He left the company and now he's coming back.
QT Marshall.
Yes, thank you. Why is he coming back? I guess it's a paycheck, I suppose.
Well, I can only assume one of two things. Either Tony Khan really went to him asking him to come back and give. I have to assume QT Marshall is going to have some more power of some sorts or something. Because that's all. Dad or QT Marshall went out there and tried to get a wrestling deal, and nobody wanted him. And nobody wanted him in other positions. I don't know why he couldn't get into WWE unless he was really pushing to be in-ring talent. So he may not gotten what he wanted, and then Tony Khan may have came begging back to him, or it was just the easiest place to go back to. I don't know. There's a lot of story of why he left, the way he left, and now he's coming back. So one side or the other had to give there. Was it QT Marshall just couldn't find what he wanted? Was New Japan not interested? Was TNA not interested? Was WWE not interested? Was nobody interested in his possible being because I think he wanted to go still be in-ring action. So maybe none of them wanted that. And maybe, I don't know. Yes, Tony Khan will bury Will Ospreay, and we will be calling him Cranberry Juice. This will be Ocean Spray.
Oh, Lord.
It'll be Will Ocean Spray. He'll be Cranberry Juice. He can team up with Safety Scissors.
Good on paper. Wow, no.
Tell me when I'm telling lies.
Jeez.
You have Will Ocean Spray and Jay White, the Safety Scissors, teaming with, let's see, the Light Mist Okada, the Changemaker, the Penny Man, the Wishing Well.
I've heard that there's been floods in California recently. Are you trying to create those floods to be salty with Miguel's tears?
You're talking about all the fans of New Japan Pro Wrestling that are watching over there, seeing their best go down in flames. Yes, it's been flooding over here. Luckily, we didn't get the thunderstorms like they were talking about. Tornado warnings today, so that's all passed. But tomorrow they're saying we're supposed to get some severe weather. So we'll see. Luckily, today was kind of bleak and not as bad, but yeah. Don't worry. I could say this to Miguel. You're going to see Okada and Ibushi team up, and they'll come out on a tandem bicycle. That'll be their...
I was waiting for that.
They'll make their ring entrance. And, of course, they'll probably lose to the Young Bucks in their first match, too. And they'll come out to, like, the circus music. Dun 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 dun.
That's if found knees for less.
No, Okada and Kota will be the new biker crew of 8. Yes. They will start Aces and 8s on bicycles. No, they'll come in. What are they'll come on the, whatchamacallums. They'll be bringing Murder Grandpa down in a rickshaw. There you go. They'll be the rickshaw rainmakers or something. Oh. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your SmackDown review. I know we went off on an AW tangent. It's just because we dread Wednesdays, and that's sad. We know that when we end our Monday Night Raw reviews here, that we have to look at what's coming, and that means it's coming to Wednesdays, and that means it's Dynamite, which we'll be here to review live for a bit, and it's going to be from Tulsa, Oklahoma, which I'm originally from the Tulsa area. And that's sad to me because I just don't know what type of fan base we're going to get in Tulsa, Oklahoma for Wednesday night's Dynamite. It's going to be interesting.
You know what's going to be fun, though? Next week for Raw, they're going to be in my birth city, San Jose, California.
San Jose, California. Yeah, I tried to get tickets to that one, but they were overpriced, so. Way overpriced for San Jose. They're even overpriced for Fresno and Bakersfield.
Bay Area, I kind of get if they're, really expensive. It's when they're expensive in stock, and I'm like, what is wrong with y'all?
Yes, no, exactly. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, this has been your post-Raw review show for February 19th. It's now February 20th. Happy Tuesday to everybody. Welcome to Tuesday. Unless you're in Hawaii, then I guess, or Hawaii and Alaska, I guess, then it's not Tuesday just yet for you, and that's awesome. But hey, more power to you. Anyways, we'll be here Wednesday night for Dynamite, and we'll be here Friday for SmackDown later today. Miguel Z's, the New Japan Pro Wrestling Rebound, will be up on air. So make sure you have the bell ring so when that comes up, you'll be able to get all the updates on everything going in the world of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Tuesday and Wednesday's Dynamite. Thursdays, Mr. Clarke will come out with another week, a week of...
The weekend preview?
Yes, the weekend preview where he'll talk about everything that's to come to get you excited for every show during the week. Starting Thursday, he will introduce you to TNA, SmackDown, Monday Night Raw, Dynamite, and of course Saturday we have the Elimination Chamber. Of course, me and Mr. Z are going to be at Stockton Con on Saturday. And we'll let you know when we're going to do a review show or how we're going to do everything with the Elimination Chamber. It's probably going to be on a weekly roundup. When the weekly roundup will come out for Sunday, we still don't have a solidified thing for that. It's just getting together. It'll probably be later in the evening on Sunday when we can get together and bring you that. So just stay tuned. Make sure you ring that bell for notifications. Like this video. Let's get it out into the algorithm if you wanted to. And you're watching this later, always feel free to share your comments in the comment section down below. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button. We are very close to hitting 250, which is halfway to 500, which is one of our next goals is to hit that 500 mark, and then we're on to 1,000. 1,000 means we really can open the doors to a lot of different things that are sitting in the background, and we're really getting excited to break that door down, so help us grow. Share this video out with all your friends, family, and everybody that you loves professional wrestling. We're going to get out of here. We're going to say good night, fair adieu. It's time to get to bed, and we will start fresh for you in the morning, or at least when we all wake up. And Mr. Clarke, are there any final statements that you want to make before we go off air?
Just whenever you see this, enjoy.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we thank you for being here. We'll see you on